Welcome again to Traveloz. I'm Greg Granger. In this edition, we'll look at Australia's favourite marsupial, the koala. We'll also head to the Australian outback, to the central Queensland town of Longreach in two very separate expeditions. The two Tims take part in a charity fun rally from central New South Wales to Longreach. Their condition of entry being that their car must be at least 20 years old and not be a four-wheel drive. And I'll start in the Queensland capital of Brisbane, travelling by train through the outback to reach the same destination. We'll also swim with the seals, 1,500 of them, cavorting off the far New South Wales south coast. Well, what a sensational day we've been promised today. We're heading out to sea off Narooma here on the New South Wales far south coast, out to Montague Island, about half an hour trip, and we're told there are 3 whales just off here, a big colony of fairy penguins on the island, and at sea up to 1,500 seals. Out into the Pacific Ocean, we join 17 other divers on a course that intercepts 3 humpback whales on their southwards migration. Skipper Darryl Stewart takes us right to the edge of the 100-metre exclusion zone.
90% of our whales are humpback whales. We start our season early September and we go to the end of November. The last 3 years we haven't actually missed seeing whales on any one of our trips, so we do sometimes 2 to 3 trips a day, and certain days they're very, very friendly. They'll come and swim around the boat, and other days they'll breach and very, very playful as they come south on their migration. They're on their way to Antarctica, which has all the krill there, but one of the interesting things is this is the first place on the migration that they might come across food, so they do start feeding here when it's available. First we have the immature ones, and they come here for about a month to 6 weeks and stay in the area. Then the bigger whales come through, and then finally the mothers and calves come through. But the last 7 or 8 years we've really concentrated very heavily this time of year on the whale watching and the whales, and they've just been superb, and they're getting friendlier each year. So that's now creating a problem with the Australian boats and the whales getting close to them and knowing the boats. Now we're very worried about what might happen in Antarctica this year with the Japanese.
Ahead, Montague Island, a safe haven for a big colony of fairy penguins. We'll check those out tonight, but first, the seals.
Okay folks, we're at Montague Island. We've just pulled up in a little cove called Pebbly Beach, and to the north of us and the south of us are 2 seal colonies. They're all Australian fur seals. We have about 1,500 seals here this time of year, and in the summer months they drop down to about 300. So it's great diving all year now with seals. The seals that you see over here, they're all lying there with their flipper out of the water. Now that's mainly a temperature control, and that's done because that's the only place where their blood vessels come close to the outer skin. So they can control their temperature up or down through that control, and you'll see the flipper go dry or wet, and they're always sort of doing it. We're very lucky because the great whites don't come here because it's a non-breeding colony. They seem to be attracted to the young seals and the birth, the afterbirth. And up here we're lucky with mainly male seals, and they just don't seem to come around the area, so we're not complaining at all about that. You know, as we come, I think they've got so used to the dive boats now that when we turn up, a lot of them do approach the water and hop in, and they're all set to play when the divers get in the water.
Okay, the seals are ready for us. Time for us to get ready for them.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the seals. Never seen them before, and you know, even on the surface they've been fantastic, jumping around and making a bit of noise, so we're really looking forward to it.
Oh, well, I mean, everyone says that the seals are really, really playful, and if you get in there and get amongst them, that you have a really, really great time. So that's what I'm planning on doing.
In they go, all 17 divers, and then it's my turn. Well, the trick with these seals is to interact with them. We're going right down to a sandy bottom. I'm going to attempt to mimic the seal's behaviour by flailing my arms like a seal and twisting and turning, even making some mimic seal noises, and I'm told they'll interact to that. They'll come up right close and copy me. Take care, we're warned, when you swim these waters. The seals are friendly enough, but there are other hazards. Sea urchins stand on those barbs and you're in for a painful extraction. And jellyfish, their tentacles studded with stinging cells. But make your way past them and you're rewarded with this: wall-to-wall seals. My first impulse is to find a place to rest and just take in this spectacle. They're ever so playful, twisting and cavorting in every direction possible.
The majority of seals are Australian fur seals, and they were the ones that were here first. But in the last 10 to 12 years, we've got New Zealand fur seals turned up. So now our colony goes from the north end right the way down the western side of the island, and is extending each year by about 10 to 20%. It seems like sometimes they get in these extra playful moods and you'll get 3 or 4 of them jumping around, chasing each other. They'll do somersaults and they'll swim around you the whole time. They'll swim right up to your mask and eyeball you, and they're just furry funsters.
One of the things we discover very quickly is how they love to mimic us. If we somersault in one direction, there'll be a seal who does exactly the same. Twist this way, and so do they. They are such sleek swimmers. And the impression they give is that they are just as curious about us as we are of them. But there are limits. This diver tries to touch one, a definite no-no. But if the seal touches you, well, that's okay. This seal swims down to put its mouth on my head. Let's watch that again.
They seem to have dog features, like their teeth look very canine, they play like puppies, but they're related to the bear family, so it's very, you can't really say, but they do seem like a cage full of puppies that you hop in with, yeah.
It was unbelievable. You just cannot imagine what it's like there. From up here, you just have no concept of what's going on underneath. There are so many seals. They're just everywhere. It's wonderful. It's like it's a really big aquarium playground, and there's all these seals dancing around you, and it really looks like this underwater ballet. It's fantastic. Oh, they'll come right up to you. You know, they'll come up and really kind of peer into your goggles and say hello, and then they'll dart off again, and then someone else will come in, and all of a sudden you'll look up and there'll be another seal above you. It's just wonderful, and they'll swimming past you all the time.
They were doing lots of spinning, and someone like gnarling their teeth at each other, and they were doing flips, and they'd get really interested and they'd come right close up to your face, and then they'd kind of like either kind of hiss at you or swim off again, and yeah, it was fantastic.
Today we dive twice with the seals of Montague Island, an experience capped off by an evening encounter on land with a big colony of fairy penguins.
We have 10,000 pair of penguins counted on the island. It's the biggest colony in New South Wales, and then the next large colony is Phillip Island down in Victoria. So it's quite significant because there's so many here. They nest on the island, they have their young on the island, and fish all around the area.